Woo! I'm excited. I am excited. Got to clear my throat a little bit. Great radio and podcasting, Tom. I don't know if you know that. It's day one stuff they teach you. Clear your throat right at the start of the goddamn show. Great time for
Every
that.
time.
Great time for that to work itself out. Tom, I'm excited because we are the All Elite Wrap-Up. Anybody listening can figure out what the fuck we were about to talk about. And last time was AEW Dynamite, which was fun, and we're going to talk about that. But I am also excited because not tomorrow, in 2 days, Tom and I, we're going on a group date.
Yeah, we are good. Look at that. Look, celebration.
Look at all the balloons. Yes,
did
you
you
should be
see-
watching the live stream.
Oh, you know what? I am now. And you know what's funny about that is the green balloons are black because of the
green screen.
Yeah,
Magic
the green
of
screen.
television.
There it
Magic of
is.
television.
Yeah, we're gonna try to act younger than we are, listening to Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz and DJ Too Loud or whatever the fuck their names are.
The thing about 2 Chainz, you see, most rappers, 1 chain. 2 Chainz, 2 chains.
Well, did I ever tell you the time I created a character where I was a vegan rapper and I called myself 3 Grains?
3 grains. That's, yeah.
I got
3
3 grains. One in the right. Yeah, I had a whole song and everything. I was a vegan rapper.
Well, you were a battle rapper, and then you retired.
I was
from
a
that,
battle rapper.
and then the
Had to
vegan
retire.
rapper,
Obviously,
right? It's too much fodder for the battle rapping, and you'd already retired at the top of the game, so like,
yeah,
right? Why give them any more? You know,
yeah, and then you got to transition to the next thing.
A good cause,
and then obviously,
right?
Yes.
And then it's a good cause. It's a passion project.
Exactly, 100% right.
100%. Yeah.
That's,
But we're going to Kelsey Jam. We're going to hang out, man. We're going to go get sunburnt, possibly. You know, we're probably going to maybe get dehydrated, maybe toss a few back. I don't know. You know what I mean? Well, we'll see what kind of stuff we get into out there at the amphitheater.
that is going to be a long day because you know what I'm doing before I meet up with you and go to Kelsey Jam? Meeting Salvador Perez.
You're going to grab his ass, right?
2015 World Series MVP, future Hall of Famer, captain of your Kansas City Royals.
And, spoiler alert, 2024 World Series MVP as well.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
We're talking sports.
Yep. No
and you know what isn't a sport, though? Pro wrestling. And that's what we should talk about next. Tim, All Elite Wrap-Up is talking about All Elite Wrestling. How are you feeling right now? Because we don't have a ton going on tonight, right? It's a you know, just some talking episode. But with that being said, how are you feeling currently about the AEW landscape? We're going into a big pay-per-view. How are you feeling?
Gosh, back to the throat clearing thing. How am I feeling about AEW is a great question, Tom. Before I answer that question, because I like to ignore what you say sometimes, I want to remind everybody else that I also want to know, and you also want to know, Tom, how they think and feel about AEW right now. And they can do that by getting in the live chat with us while we do this YouTube live stream. I see there were some people in and out of here. Start talking to us. Tell us what you think about AEW. Do that each week. We do this live each and every week, exactly Thursday nights, 7:15-ish, squarely on the dot, Central Standard Time, U.S. Arrowhead time, right? U.S. Central Time. Now, if you can't, you obviously can catch the podcast. You can go to allelitewrapup.com, subscribe there, completely free. You can find all your podcast links, social media links, get the updates on when we're going live. Tino Ibarra is in the chat. He says, what do you mean wrestling is a sport? It's real just like Santa and the Tooth Fairy? Yeah. Man, Tino, I don't know how long you've been listening to us, but there was a time in for 10 years we've been doing a podcast, and we've had some arguments with folks where, look, we are pro wrestling nerds. We think pro wrestling is the greatest form of entertainment when it's done right that you could possibly do. It is Shakespeare in 2020 and moving forward, right? It is theater 100%. In the round. We love it. It is the physically most demanding thing you could possibly do, and one of the bravest things you could possibly do. As Tom said, in MMA, you get to guard for yourself. In pro wrestling, I got to let you throw me through a plane of glass sometimes, right? Or take a pizza cutter to my head. So
yeah, that's the craziest part about pro wrestling. And I've had friends who were high level MMA fighters, and then they transitioned over to pro wrestling. And one of the things that was the hardest for them to grasp is the idea of giving your body, giving yourself
Mm-hmm.
to someone for art, right? And yeah, that is very
Yeah.
demanding, very challenging for the brain too. Cause if you've trained in wrestling or boxing or, MMA, whatever it is, a combat sport, it is instinctual for you to move
Yeah.
and for you to
Get
be
them
like,
hands
nope.
up.
Yep, just here it is.
Get the way.
Take
Yeah.
this,
Yeah, right here. Give me
collarbone
one
here.
right here. I got
Yeah.
one of these. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna throw that every time. We got to get that on. We got to get that clip in here so people know what we're talking about. But yes, it's not a sport, right? It's theater. It's tough. It's acting. It is live action stunt work. But sport, let's reserve that
I'll
for
tell you what
real
it
competitions.
means.
What are we talking about? I'm talking about he's going to give him one of these. He's going to give him one of those.
That's fun.
So, we love pro wrestling as is, and we can move on from that. But what I was saying is we want to hear what you got to say, just like Tino's saying here in the chat, talking to us. Theo saying, stop bashing the stuff we love, T-Mac. We're not bashing it. We love it. We want to talk to you about it right here in the chat with us. You can also send us emails, aewrapup@gmail.com. I'm talking, type it out. Record yourself, video, audio, send it to me. We'll play it here. We'll talk about it. Normally, the brave soul, Ash Hendricks, our senior European correspondent, is being the only one being brave to put himself out there to do this, sending us audio clips each and every week, and not this week. Tom, we doubled his salary last week, and then he no-shows. Wouldn't every goddamn time.
Hey, look, even Babe Ruth struck out, so it happens.
He's got a valid reason. Could be ill.
Exactly.
We will let him speak to that when he returns. But anyway, aewrapup@gmail.com. Send all that stuff. We want to know, man. We want to know. We're also on the threads over there on the threads at all_elite_wrapup. Find us over there. But back to what you asked me, Tom. Now I'll get back to what you asked me, right?
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I think there are some things where I'm kind of, some storylines specifically where I am, a little, I wish this could be over or better. But I think overall, I think they're in a good spot. I think they are planning things with a better bird's eye view than they had been recently. And I like that.
Yeah, I feel like they have good structure. I would say I am definitely looking forward to Double or Nothing. It does feel, and I don't know contracts or, required dates, any of that kind of knowledge, obviously, but it does feel like this current crop of week to week wrestlers may need to be switched out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As much as I like Hook and Swerve Strickland is the champion, so that's not really what I'm saying there. But other wrestlers, FTR, for example, switch those out for maybe a Ricky Starks or, again, you had the best
Ricky
friends.
Starks is in one of those where we're like, hey, listen, we do think you're great. And we think you should be on TV, but right now you have 8 months left, and
well, and that's why.
Right? So,
yes, right. As far as the contract situation, I don't know about that, but I'm just saying, like, as far as my viewing habits, I want to see some of the people I haven't seen in a while.
I agree.
Miro.
And we're going to talk about, some individuals, but like the thing, like you said with Hook, he's clearly showing some improvements. They're working on his promos, but we got 2 hours on the flagship show. Sometimes I'm like, all right, this one went a little long, but we'll get there. We will talk about it. We want to hear what you're talking about. Tino also said, you got to take a slam on those tags sometimes, but shout out to Willow, a.k.a. the Teletubby version of Mick Foley.
Willow! Not that Willow.
Not that Willow, sorry. I forget that all the time.
She is amazing. This is going to be such an interesting decision, peeking behind the curtain at Double or Nothing, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we get into our review. But this is going to be one of the most interesting decisions AEW has had from a company perspective on what to do with this match, because you almost have a little bit, not to this, not to the degree of what I'm using the example of, but kind of shades of it, of the, we want Bryan Danielson, but you're giving us Roman Reigns. You know what I mean?
Almost. Yes. Yeah. I was thinking, I think you're a little more accurate with we want Bryan Danielson but Roman Reigns. I was thinking in AEW terms, remember All Out 2022 when we were like, yeah, the Acclaimed. Here we go. It's the Acclaimed night. And then it was Swerve and Keith Lee. And we were like, oh, yeah. Okay. I guess. Yeah. Right? Yeah, we were like, I mean, they're fine. Right? But, And something just wasn't quite right with them either, right? Like, the package was, and that's what that's why we wanted the feud, because something just didn't feel right with that package, right? And that's kind of the same thing with Mercedes Moné right now. Something doesn't feel quite right with it, but it feels like it's destined to be
something.
We'll see. Yeah, I agree with you. That's going to be a very interesting call, and more on that when we make our picks in the coming weeks here too.
Yeah, we got some picks coming up. You currently own the Jeff Jarrett t-shirt, so congratulations to you for having that trash. But you know what wasn't trash? Last night's Dynamite. So let's get into it. It kicked off with a tag team match, Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson versus Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher. Interesting to see Jeff Cobb here. This is one of those instances where, look, I like Jeff Cobb. I think he's great. But if we're not getting in the Jeff Cobb business, then let's use this for someone else. You know what I mean? And I understand Powerhouse Hobbs is hurt, and most likely if he's not hurt, this is where he's at. But we got enough, warm bodies in the back sitting around not doing much. You could have Don Callis hire them for a night. You know what I mean? And now and I keep using this guy just because I saw a recent match of his, I think it was. And so now just kind of had him on the brain, but this is where you could put Miro and Kyle Fletcher. You know what I mean? And so, interesting to see Jeff Cobb here.
Yeah. Or even some tag team that we have, like we've said, the tag team division seems to be kind of, doesn't exist. Let's do that. Like, I mean, maybe not Top Flight is the best for Moxley and Danielson, but you get what I mean? Like, let's find a tag team somewhere. I don't know, Dark Order guys, if we were taking them more seriously or something, right? See, I don't even have any good examples of tag teams right now because of the situation we're in, but this would help, right? If somebody was in there giving it all they got against Moxley and Danielson, getting a puncher's chance.
Well, and what's interesting now that we're kind of talking about tag teams and things like that, what's kind of been, put back in the cupboard? The rankings. Remember when the rankings were coming back?
And they are so hot doing it. The rankings. Yeah.
And then instantly we're like, yeah.
It could be a great tool, but again, when you then muddy the waters with, we have 6 championships now, and any one of the 5 could really be for any of these. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Right? Like, I get having some crossover, but sort of having like a Venn diagram, right? Some of these guys can compete for this, and some of these guys can compete for this and this and this. And like, I mean, I get, but yeah, it's weird. Like, if you have more than 5 titles, then why am I only ranking a top 5? That feels weird. I don't know how many titles we got at the moment, but
I get what you're saying. So let's talk about this match here. So Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, they kick off the show. Jon Moxley, I tell you what, just the energy he has. And I know he's the IWGP heavyweight champ. He's kind of doing his business over there in New Japan, which is great, which is, fine by me. But similar to Bryan Danielson, I feel, Jon Moxley's on the second half of his prime, I would say. And
the downslide, if you will.
And not to say he won't have good matches in fight, because look at Adam Copeland, right? He's 15. He's still having good matches. So, there's something to that. But the style that Jon Moxley has, I don't know if I'm Tony Khan that I necessarily want him to take those huge bumps and bleeding from the head on someone else's show. What do you think about that?
I agree with that. And certainly not at the rate that he likes to do it, right? Like not, hey man, every show, every week, we don't need it every time, right? I get it is more realistic that every fight gets bloody. I mean, like it's kind of how it works. But but man, you're going to walk away looking like Abdullah the Butcher's forehead coming away at some point.
Yeah.
And we don't need that either. I don't want to see you like that later. I'd just assume you do some fake blood before you murder yourself over this, right? Like, calm it down a little. Yes, I agree with that. But especially if I'm Tony Khan, but this is somewhat part of the working relationship. And sometimes it's like, hey, Mox, I can't make you a world title now or anytime in the next year and a half. And I really don't have anything on major featured things, a la, like, I don't need to squeeze you in like I got to do Chris Jericho for some reason every damn week. Then do you want to go do something? And Moxley's always like, yes, I do, because I'm ready to fucking rock, right? Well, whatever's going on there.
You know, we'll get into this tag match here in just a second, but you know what? That actually, if Chris Jericho has dates that he has to do, right? And New Japan is doing shows in Southern California, right? The New Japan Strong.
Do that.
Switch out. Yeah, make Chris Jericho the IWGP heavyweight champ and move Moxley over here. And hey, there you go, Jericho. You're getting all of the shine you want.
Yeah.
Not on our show. Well, you know what I mean?
Tino in the chat, though, does say that's one thing I love about AEW. They can have these partnerships with New Japan and CMLL, and we get great cross-cultural wrestling. And I agree with you. And I think Tom disagrees with you, too. It's like, but sometimes maybe Jericho does it and not Moxley every time.
Yeah, I'm just thinking more of the style. For example, I would also feel this way about Darby Allin, right? I don't want Darby Allin to do a backflip into glass on New Japan Strong. Like,
when
he's
they
gonna do
are a career-ending risk almost every time they go out, why would I have them risk it there?
Come over here, die on my show, not on theirs. You know what I mean? But yeah, so we have this tag match. We get some fun stuff in here. Nothing too out of the box crazy that happened. We do get Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson win, and then Tim, this is where we get the fun. They are celebrating. You got Jon Moxley standing on the second rope going, yay! And here comes Takeshita. And Takeshita gives him, probably,
that's what he said.
And he gives him a back body drop off the second rope. And he let it like hang in the air a while and then slammed him down. And we get Takeshita, wearing Moxley around like a hat for a while. And then the other two, Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher, then they're beating up on Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. Here comes Claudio with the biggest tire iron. I don't know what the hell that was. It was like a metal bat, except it had no barrel to it. And he just, swinging that thing like Stan Hansen. And then the guys, they powder out and go away. But what'd you think about Takeshita attacking?
This is why you're not a successful professional wrestler. You would know that every time you get to an arena, you scavenge around until you find yourself like a lead pipe or there's a kendo stick somewhere in that building.
Always.
Guaranteed.
Always.
You will find it. You just haven't looked hard enough yet if you haven't found it, right? So, you find, and he was looking for that, and then he found the pipe and said, this will do. This is even better.
So what do you think about Takeshita, though, angling at Jon Moxley? You think that's a match we're getting at Double or Nothing, possibly?
Maybe we get it at Double or Nothing, but they're definitely going to do that, and it'll probably be for that title, right? And you're going to get that strong style WrestleFest, right? I wanted to say WrestleFuck, but I the second, but there we we're going to get that, and that'll be fine. There'll be a lot of titty twisters, and there'll be some blood in that one, and it'll be good. But Moxley will win.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting. Like, I think Takeshita is a good challenger for a championship. But again, let's peek behind the curtain for a little bit. If I'm New Japan, Jon Moxley, to the American audience, has only defended that belt against Powerhouse Hobbs, and then, again, potentially Takeshita. I would want one of my guys, right? Tanahashi or someone, Ishii, get the Stone Pitbull over here and have my guy challenging Jon Moxley for my championship. So I do think that's interesting that so far on AEW television, we've only seen him go up against AEW wrestlers.
I'm even writing these all out right now because, I forgot, we're not even just talking the AEW titles when we're saying that we got too many. We've got the IWGP one hanging around because of Moxley, right? So we've got the World, we got the TNT, we've got the International, we got the Continental. We've got the ROH World title hanging around sometimes, right? They're doing better about not having those
keeping that on
as much on there. So, it's a lot, though. It is a lot. And, I agree with what you're saying. Like, yes, the cross-cultural stuff is fun. it is a little odd and feels a little unnecessary for me sometimes when it's one of these like, now our person is the champion over there or vice versa, because it always just, again, we are more storyline driven and it's hard to get behind those storylines when we're following just the one, right? I don't follow the both necessarily. I like seeing the flashes of both, but I can't necessarily follow storylines in both, right? I don't got the time.
Yeah. I do like the recaps. For example, we saw later on in the show, the recap of Eddie Kingston's match at New Japan Strong, which he ended up injuring his leg, which, get well soon, Eddie. And that's cool, right? Hey, here's my guy, AEW wrestler over there in New Japan. Here's a quick package of that. Awesome. Cool. I got caught up. I know what's happened. Let's keep it moving, So I thought that was interesting. I like that. But before we got there, let's get back into chronological order. We get Adam Copeland after the match running out. He's scheduled to call out Malachi Black, and he's like, yeah, look at me, I'm running weird. And then voila, right in the back of the head. We get.
Yeah.
What was that?
I forgot. We should have got.
Yes. Good call. Yeah. It's kind of weird how he's running, though. It's like one time he got a pop and he's like, this run is what's getting me over. And it's like, is it?
Yeah.
It's a signature. I will say that if you put in a video game, I know who if you had to create a character and they run out, I'm like, oh, that's Adam Copeland's run. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I will say that. But he doesn't even get to the ring, Tim. He gets attacked up on the stage. Brody King, Buddy Matthews, punch in the gut, punch in the face. Here we go.
Give one of these.
Punch, you get one of those.
Give another one of these. Yeah, choke him.
And I choke him. I love that. But here we go. We get Malachi Black as they beat up Adam Copeland into the ring. And he says, I'm reading here off of AEW's website. He says, quote, Adam, I don't understand why you try to keep up this facade of what you think you are. Mr. Matthews, take his wedding ring. So he takes the wedding ring and then doesn't really take an action on it, right? He just has it in his possession.
But this is just the threat that he could.
Right. And then they set up Adam with two chairs because they choke him out. Then they lay him into the bottom corner. They have two chairs on either side of his head. Here comes Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, save the day. The fuck off. No, you won't. You nerd. Go play your fucking air guitar somewhere else. And they kick his ass. So good job, Kyle.
I like that. That's kind of like the failed hot tag, right? That's kind of like,
yeah,
I'm coming to save the what? Later.
Well, you know what he should have done? Should have said, hey, Claudio, throw me that fucking pipe that you got over there. I'll run out with that.
Yeah, somebody stole the kendo stick. Nowhere to be found. Can I borrow your pipe?
Yeah, but he didn't do that. So he gets beat up. And then House of Black does this triple, they behead Adam Copeland, essentially.
Yeah.
And leave him high and dry. So what do you think about this segment, the failed run-in, the wedding ring, all of that?
Always enjoy a failed something, right? Like when we're all like, yay, womp, womp, womp. So I like that. And look, I'm less positive and still patient, at least. We like to be positive and patient around here. I'll say I'm still patient with the House of Black. I just don't know that we're there yet. I know Adam Copeland can get weird if he wants to, and so maybe he gets dragged into this, right? And they get a little weird. But I will say this. I like kind of what you said, what Malachi Black said here, and then even before that. Either that was a promo earlier on Dynamite or I'm thinking of Collision or something. But the promos are still enigmatic and they're still poetic, but they're a little less spooky and a little less way overdone with the metaphors, right? They were easier to follow. They were a normal conversational speech, right? It wasn't like let me tell you a tale of a blah, 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 right? That you couldn't follow, right? So I could get behind this, I think, if they don't linger too much on things. I like this idea of took his wedding ring, right? Adam Copeland's a guy who takes his fucking family and his wife very goddamn seriously, so he'll respond to that. Now, I don't know that I want to necessarily lead this to Beth Phoenix showing up, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, cameo's fine, right? Being there in the corner on a match, on a big thing, whatever, right? But like, I don't need an integral part of the storyline, I don't think. And I don't need her taking on Julia Hart or anything like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I would prefer this stay Malachi versus Adam. But, this could be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be wowed.
I'm a little bit less both positive and patient with the House of Black. Yeah. I think the entrance of House of Black is captivating. I still think it's cool. Yeah. It's eye-catching. If you're looking at your phone, you hear it, you look up, then there's all these, shadows and
Donnie
spotlights
Darko
and stuff.
And all
yeah.
That. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Think it's fun. But man, it is, and I've said this in the past, and it's kind of a mean take on it, but it is how I feel. It's a lot of sizzle and not a lot of steak. I can't think of one thing other than when he debuted and spinning back kick Cody that Malachi Black has done since he's been here.
Yeah. So and this is what I'm saying. Here's why. Look, we are storyline driven folks, and we are also very realistic centered folks, right? Tom and I both aren't very sci-fi driven, right? We don't like the space stuff. We're not too venturing the spooky or the horror films, right? No. We're a little more realism grounded, right? We understand this is not real. It's pro wrestling. It's not a sport. But I can get behind some spooky things, but you got to bring the spooky here, right? Like an entrance is not playing mind games with somebody over several weeks, driving them crazy and making me think they're going to lose everything, right? Like that their relationships are eroding and that their physical health is declining because this person's in their head, right? And they're, I don't know, hearing voices or things are disappearing from them or whatever the fuck it is, right? But we don't really get any of that with the House of Black, right? We get these spooky metaphors, like I said, and then we get darkness at the match. Nobody's getting kidnapped up in this bitch. Right? Like, I need something to happen to make me think, yikes, if the lights go out, I don't want to be caught around these weirdos.
Yeah. If they're not going to be, to your point, if they're not going to be sci-fi, super real kind of, thing, then they need to be like the thing you fear when you're walking down the back alley. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
more just
shit.
Thugs, right? More just
creepy
back alley hoods, right?
Yeah. Like they're not doing any of these things in the sense of like, we want money, pay, power, fame, anything like that. They just want influence and for you to follow Malachi. Cause again, a kind of a cult like thing, but it's more grounded in realism.
This is Malachi's turf. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. But they don't do it in the mafia, kind of bullshit.
No, it's just like, if there were some actual tough guys that were Dungeons and Dragons fans, right? Kind of almost like that, right?
Yeah.
And they created their own little gang of like, oh man, we like snakes and tattoos and daggers, but we will actually fuck you up. So you're like, yeah, that's cool, man. Snakes. I think a Hell's Angel's a little more, a little more dark and twisted, right? With a little more, contemporary.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good comparison of what we were wanting to see.
That stuff's kind of weird, but you'll stab me, and I don't want you to think that I think it's weird.
Well, one of the things that I was mentioning is how Malachi Black showed up in AEW, spinning back kicked Cody, right? Okay, fine. Or actually, was it?
Sense.
Well, no, was it? Is
that where he got the idea to solve racism?
Possibly. No, that was before. He already solved it.
Oh, that's true. Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I think maybe it was Arn Anderson that he's spinning back kick now. And then it was Cody on a later episode.
Yeah, that's true. It was Arn. Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of that. That's the best thing to come out of that.
Armed Anderson, man.
Yeah. But I was thinking, honestly, the biggest moment to me for House of Black so far in their run in AEW was Brody King winning the Battle Royal by strangling Darby Allin and then just letting his lifeless body fall.
That's what I mean. Yeah, be sick. Be sadistic at least,
well,
right?
He's the money.
Doesn't have to be spooky. Yeah. He is the money.
He's the money of the three.
If he was
like
unleashed, if Malachi could control him, be like, right? Like he's the only one who could make him stop, right? And so Malachi could be like, I can call him off. But I need that title shot or whatever it is, right? Like, yeah.
Honestly, again, peeking behind the curtain, doing that a lot tonight. I don't know why, but that's
just
where my brain's
going. Just get rid of
going.
Malachi and just.
Get rid of Malachi and Buddy. I don't need.
A
I get it.
buddy
I
can,
get it.
yeah.
But because you know who would be a cool not accessory, that's a bad term, but could be a cool duo is him and Julia Hart. Julia Hart being the spooky thing and has this, girl in sky blue following her, and then
call him off, or
that's the duo.
Then
again,
you even get where she can kind of do some of his talking in his male thing. She can just be out for, you know what I mean, dominance, power, like you said, and he's the monster. He's the Frankenstein monster, if you will.
Yeah, and then you have more things to play around with, because if you did the duo, let's just go down this rabbit hole for a second. If you did this duo, she could be saying, I want that guy, this man out of AEW, whoever it is, right? Let's just say it is Adam Copeland, right? Well, then that would have Adam Copeland look around and be like, hey, Chris Statlander, will you help me? Yes. And then you're getting other people involved, because it's not just guy and guy and guy and guy. You know what I mean? Right. Then you're getting some of the women's division involved. And then you can spawn that into some, Rampage or Collision matches. So I like that better. Malachi and Buddy.
Guy and guy and guy and guy gets tiring after a while. You know what I mean?
Well, it should be a guy and a girl, as God intended. We all know.
Just ask Harrison Butker. Yeah.
Yeah, we should all have tag team matches be a guy and a girl, because
that's true.
Obviously,
it's gay otherwise, right?
It's gay. It's so gay. It's two dudes versus two dudes. Super gay. I love it. So as we mentioned, Eddie Kingston, he is injured from his match at New Japan.
That's a shoot, huh?
Yeah, he really fucked up his leg. Photo of him in the wheelchair, though, smoking I think it's a Black and Mild, or maybe a blunt. It's a great photo. Yeah, it's a great photo. But he lost this match. He lost this match. Have you heard of this guy, Gabe Kidd? Have you heard anything about this guy?
No.
Okay, so I've just been recently exposed to him because of his feud with Eddie Kingston. You want to talk about just a
from where?
Angry young
like ROH
man.
Or GCW?
No, it's New Japan. He's
Japan.
in New Japan. Yeah. So he's now the New Japan open weight champion. But man, I think he's Australian, maybe New Zealand. I don't know. He's not American. He's a white dude. Yeah. Oh, that's a callback. So yeah, he's pretty in your face, unapologetic. I would say check him out. He's pretty interesting
Gabe Kidd.
Gabe
Two
Kidd,
D's.
yeah. Yes, it is Kidd. But the thing that we're talking about from that match, besides Eddie Kingston's injury, was that after the match, Jack Perry and the Young Bucks attack Eddie Kingston. Maybe that's where he suffered his injury, if we're going to say storyline, right? And as mentioned, Eddie is out of the match, Anarchy in the Arena, at Double or Nothing. So what do we do there? Well, we get backstage. Renee Paquette's talking to FTR, and Dax is talking about how he's facing Okada later tonight. And you know what? We'll kick his ass.
Remind us that he loves this business.
Oh, this is how he feeds his family.
Yeah. I almost forgot that for a second.
Yeah, you gotta remind yourself.
He's unique in that way, apparently.
Well, I don't know anyone else who uses that money.
Yeah, exactly.
Support a fucking family? Obviously, you steal. Yeah. But FTR mentions, hey, we've got someone. We got someone that can fill in. So, hold your assholes here, because we got something that'll knock your socks off. I think that's what he said.
I tell people to hold your assholes almost daily.
Hold your assholes really, all the time. Yeah, every single time.
Some people do it. Some
people
are followers. They're born followers.
Yeah,
they go, all right, what's happening? What's about to happen?
Yeah, and if you don't, what the fuck is going on with you? Need to hold your
I warned you. I tried to warn you.
You're going to find out.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught without a well-hid asshole. A well-held asshole.
Yeah, obviously.
Boy, if we were naming episodes still.
That would have been a good one. Yep, that would have been a good one. Hey, so we get into the ring here, and we get an AEW World Tag Team Champion Eliminator match. It is Matthew and Nicholas Jackson taking on Christopher Daniels and Waste of Space Matt Sydal. God, can that guy just flip into a fucking universe I don't see again?
We couldn't get Frankie here for this, like something.
Yeah. Hi
Yeah, I don't
guys.
know what.
Woo. He
Yeah,
sucks.
I just
And look,
Christopher
I have
Daniels is awesome. He's one of my sneaky like dark horse favorite guys, right? He's awesome.
well, you should, if you haven't, check out his promo that he does after the fallout from this match. Very, very good.
Ooh, I'll check it out. All of his promos since fucking for years have been triples or better.
SoCal Uncensored had to split up, that promo that Christopher Daniels did, that one was very, very good.
And then all this stuff with them, all these backstage ones where he's like, been like, bitch, I don't need this fucking job. Like, I don't fucking shove your fucking. I will fucking. What does Hangman say? Where is that?
I will knock your dick in the dirt.
He will.
Yeah.
And my criticism about Matt Sydal, look, him as a human, I think he's fine. I have a personal connection with him. He mentored Sharkbait when Sharkbait was in Evolve. So I definitely thank him for helping a friend out, getting to towns and getting the matches in. But the character fucking sucks.
It ain't doing anything here, at least. Like, I don't know if his character's great anywhere else he goes. I only watch this, but yeah, it definitely ain't working here. I'll agree with you on that one.
Dog shit. Now, the other part of this match that I thought was very, very interesting was Jack Perry was on broadcast. He was sitting next to Tony Schiavone. So let's fast forward to the end of this. Matt and Nick, they end up winning, or Matthew and Nicholas, they end up winning the match. And Jack Perry says, well, obviously, let's have a toast for Matthew and Nicholas, our EVPs. And then a Woo energy drink, which is just dumped on Tony Schiavone's head. Man, even if you know what's going to happen, God bless it. I don't know if I can hold myself back.
Oh, and I mean, it's an energy drink, right? So that's like you need 3 showers. By the time Schiavone's actually able to now wash this out of him, you need at least 3 showers. That lather, rinse, repeat's going to have to go a couple times.
Yeah, if we're able to, like, shoot, mess with the can, gimmick it up a little bit. Hopefully you can put water
up in there.
But man, if it was straight up energy drink, Tony needs a raise because that's some bullshit.
Tino says that's a sticky situation. Yeah, man. And we have said this before on this and previous versions of whatever we've called ourselves. You do not mess with everybody's favorite fucking wrestling uncle here, right? Like Tony Schiavone is our dude.
Yes,
we will step in front of Tony Schiavone, right? If it's going down, Tony Schiavone ain't getting swung on here. We're taking that hit, and we swing back.
Hell yeah. And AEW is forming a great family here. Obviously, we're led by the best father in pro wrestling, Christian Cage. We've got the wrestling aunts backstage. We got the wrestling aunts backstage with Renee and RJ City. We've got our uncle and Tony Schiavone. Tell you what, man.
We dedicate each episode to our amazing father, Christian Cage. We could not do this without his guidance and fatherly advice throughout the years. Stern, tough love, but
tough love nonetheless.
Right. Yeah.
Matthew Jackson then. Matthew Jackson here after, the match, he says, cut the music. And then, man, I'll say Matthew Jackson, the character of Matthew Jackson is fucking really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, he's perfected that corporate shit heel, like I said. Like just unaware, oblivious, the idiot in the room, but is like, and just fucking shit up left and right. And just laughing about it all the way.
But then, yeah, like you said, then still trying to do the corporate thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So here he does.
But his corporate is like, but listen, we're professional here, guys. I'm like, no, you are not in any fucking way. Yeah, love it.
So here he is. He talks to Christopher Daniels and he says, hey, you lost. That stinks for you. But there is one thing that you did last week and you put your hands on me. And this is where he goes, as an executive, I got to let you go.
Yeah,
and he fires Christopher Daniels. Now, we have had some theories off air about how Anarchy in the Arena might go. So I will say now, and again, you don't have to make this a pick or any kind of prediction thing, but just your 2 cents. Do you think at Anarchy in the Arena, we see a reemergence of Christopher Daniels?
I think we do. And I think one of my initial thoughts might come true in this. At least if I had the pencil, you know, we'll fast forward a little bit here. We're going to talk about it. Darby shows up, right? And he's the thing. But as we understood it, Darby's rolling around on a bum ankle. He's got a broken nose. I could see all these instances where the Young Bucks are firing people. They're taking folks out. Maybe they take out, so they fire Christopher Daniels. Maybe they take out Darby and no, it can't be him now, right? Now we got to get somebody else. They take him out. They fire somebody else. We go through a couple weeks. We finally get down to the day, like you said, maybe we're going in down a man, or maybe we've got to fill in, but they take them out too, day of, right? We're down a man. And then we get the Savior riding in on a horse, Hangman, right, coming in. But throughout, during the Anarchy in the Arena, dotted around somewhere in a locker room, somewhere in a bathroom, is all of the people that they fucked with and fired. Christopher Daniels gets a nut punch in on them when they think they're getting the one over on Moxley or whatever it is, right? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, whoever was in the match, I'm forgetting at this point. But yeah, you know, that's where I'm thinking, or at least that's how I would write it out, right? Like everywhere they turn, they're like, yeah, now get him, and then bonk to the back of the head, and there's Christopher Daniels going, eat shit, motherfucker. Maybe not exactly.
Yeah, or then, and then Matt Sydal is the next one. Yeah, so it's everyone that they've kind of fucked with. Maybe Tony Schiavone even gets a low blow on Jack
exactly.
Perry. You know what I mean? That'd be cool.
That would be good. Grasp by the hair, fucking.
Now, on the other side of this Christopher Daniels firing, the internet has already, come up with their own conspiracy theories. Do you think we see the AEW debut of Curry Man? Remember Curry Man? No. You think we see him?
No.
50-year-old dressing like Curry Man? No?
Nope. Sure don't. Maybe at the Anarchy in the Arena, I guess. If it was Stadium Stampede, maybe. Because then that's how you would get in, right? You were fired. Curry Man wasn't fired.
That's true. Kind of like a Mr. America thing. Remember when Hogan got fired and came back as suicide?
America? Maybe not suicide. Do they still use that in TNA? He was. I think a lot of people were that over the years. I think they filtered folks in. Yeah. I think he spent some time as it, from what I'm to understand. For a while, I think they were mum about who it was, and then people figured it out after a while, and then I think somebody left, so they had somebody else do it. You know, kind of like a Sin Cara.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get you.
Anyway, the guy's got no face. They don't know who the fuck's in there.
That's true.
Genius.
All right. So after the firing of Christopher Daniels and the dumping of an energy drink on Tony Schiavone, we go backstage, and here is the mess up of the night. I don't want to make this a weekly segment because that would be mean, but this was the mess up of the night. We go backstage. Renee Paquette is talking to AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm, with Mariah May and Luther, and it's in fucking color.
Yeah, big miss.
What the fuck are you doing, guys? Like, it's the one person that's black and white. It's not like we got 6 people and, oh shit, this is another. Like, there's one fucking gimmick that is in black and white. Yeah. And I get that we've given up on the matches being black and white. And I don't necessarily hate that, because that kind of felt like when The Fiend was wrestling in the red light the entire time. Yeah. So, okay, I'll give you the matches are in color, because, again, they're competing against another person who is in reality, right? But it's black and white. You spent the fucking time when she was going up against Diana.
Split the screen.
Yeah, split the screen. So, like, how did you fuck this up?
Yeah, Yeah, it's a struggle. It sucks, man, because I was like, man, that it took away from, again, another goddamn dinger of a fucking promo she's dishing out. Like, she's just murdering these fools. Yeah, she had a line about, you'll be like every other degenerate in Vegas with an ass in your face and wondering what happened or something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's all in on this rap beef, man. You guys should be checking out Toni Storm each week. She's got the fucking bars.
Yeah, so she does say here, there is a quote from AEW's website where she says, Serena Deeb, thank you for knocking me out last week so I didn't have to listen to another second of your sob story. And at Double or Nothing, everything will come up roses for Tony Storm. And then okay, right? So she talks her shit, and it's great, as always, right? Did you catch one thing, though, that made me go, huh? And I watched it back. But I watched it back because you had Mariah May and Tony Storm kind of embracing a little bit different than, friends. It was a little bit of a more intimate. And, what I'm saying here is Mariah May and Mina, I think is the lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the lady from Stardom? Mina?
Mina.
Help me out in the chat if you remember her name, because we don't fact check here, but it's someone like that. But they kiss and they're doing champagne. So do you think Tony Storm's doing I can also be fun, Mariah, and look at this. Ooh, we touched boobies.
I can make out
what I mean?
too. Tino says Tony would kill it in the battle rap scene. God. Who's she taking down? She's taking down all the greats.
Charlie Clips. She's taking out Roan. She's taking out Sharon. Unfortunately, Pat Stay has passed away, but taking out Pat Stay. Got Murder Mook taking out that motherfucker. Tony Storm take you all out.
But not 2 Abs T-Mac, not Tommy Tsunami.
Look, there's levels to this shit, okay?
Right,
I'm
yeah,
saying,
right.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're talking about Nikola Jokic is a great sinner. He ain't fucking Shaq, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to this shit, okay? So, it's all calm down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Nobody gets to jump on 2 Abs, man.
Yeah, no one does that. Okay, then we go backstage. We're staying backstage. Malachi Black, he is holding Adam Copeland's wedding ring, and he says, quote, everything that is holding you back is such a small little trinket. Speaking of holding you back, a barbed wire cage match. I knew there was a part of you that still existed, and of course, I accept. And if I beat you, and I will, you bend a knee to the House of Black.
This is the promo I was thinking about. I thought it was earlier than that. It was this one. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, great. This was still, I'm dark. I'm mysterious. I might rip your intestines out and decorate my fucking house with them. But it wasn't, he's talking about fucking rabbit in the hat? Like, I don't know what the fuck he's saying, right? It was very clear. It was conversational, and it was directed at him. And you didn't have, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying dumb it down, right? But, like,
no,
don't overdo it, right? And I thought this was a good point in the sweet spot here. I liked it.
Yes, it was I like what they're doing, especially for who they're doing it to. Adam Copeland, we know the Rated R, Superstar, the Brood, all of that stuff. Here's where I will push back, though. And this is where you need someone to fucking tell these assholes, let's do a little bit better. We've done this. We did it with FTR, remember? Oh, Dak, you wrestled for your family. You need to join a real family, us, right? And then we did it with Miro. Oh, you think God is the one that's holding you back? And so it's like, okay, is every fucking person just got this little demon in them? That's what you're doing?
I was worried for a hot second, but I realized the timing's off because our great father is doing the father gimmick and can't be taken away for this. But I was worried for a second. We've got Edge. We've got Christian. They've got Gangrel on speed dial. We're getting a full Brood.
Hey, I don't think either one of us are going to be picking Christian Cage at Double or Nothing. I may be speaking out of turn, but I at least will not. I don't think that they're going to continue that feud after Double or Nothing.
True.
I can
Maybe the
see
family
them
breaks up.
I can see
he goes
them.
in a spiral and he gets
Yeah.
Brood.
Could happen.
Brood.
Could happen.
All right. We'll get some blood splitting out and stuff like that. All right. Awesome.
And then we get back into the ring, and this could have done this
barbed wire cage match though.
Oh yeah.
That should be good. They'll
Should
get
be
bloody up in that, and they'll, what I mean, do some
a
stuff.
lot of violence?
Yeah, violence. I'm down for violence.
Put that.
I'm a violence fan.
Yeah. Oh, I love violence. I wonder where you're going to put that. I wonder if you start off the show, like, here's the violence. Now let's get to the wrestling, or do you put it in the middle? It's an interesting,
Yeah, because it's not
because
going
you got
to
to,
end the show.
yeah, but you got to put the fucking thing there, and you know what I mean? Can hook it all up and stuff. So
Pre-show.
should be. Ooh, that I wouldn't hate it. Save some money. All right, so we get back in the ring, and this is where, man, look, everyone knows who's listened long enough that I am a Taz mark through and through, and by proxy, I'm a Hook mark through and through because he's just as cool as his dad, and I think he's great. Obviously, does he have work to do? Sure, but everyone did in year one, so suck it. But we have the return of the cold-hearted, handsome devil Hook. And how do we do it? He just walks out. Like, this is where you could have had Taz up on the stage and, you know, you obviously you can't say what I'm about to say, but paraphrase it in the sense of you motherfuckers have done it now. This guy you thought was ruthless before. Oh my God. I've never seen this side of my son before. He is about to rip the shit out of Sebastian Wolf. Sebastian, you better hold your asshole because we got motherfucking Hook. And this is where, like, pay Action Bronson to fucking rap down with, like, make it a fucking spectacle that Hook's coming back.
Yeah, I really.
Hook.
And the thing, I know a lot of people have said Hook, you know, in here, you included, in a lot of chat have said Hook should not say a word.
Yes.
Well, we're past that now, right? We're past that now. And I've been a proponent of, you can't do that forever, right? And so fine, if we're not doing that forever, but less is more still.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have an intimidating voice, right? Now,
Correct.
is his energy and his you know, his reputation, should that bring some fear to folks? Sure. But man, like, yeah, and he's getting better in promos, and I'll give you that, right? And this was believable. He looked like he was legitimately pissed off, but it's still, you know, still falling a little flat, right? He's still not projecting, and he's still not, right, presenting, right? So we still got work there to do. And that's where, yeah, less is more. It's no shame in having somebody speak for him, man. Like, if it can't be Taz, like Tino says, let Taz sit. The man's got bad knees. Then, like, let's get somebody else in here to do this.
Hey, you can put him in a fucking chair, okay?
Yeah.
You don't have to have him walking around.
Every time he's just sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Hook standing behind him.
I just think, yeah, I agree. Less is more with Hook, but also because they're trying some things, right? I do like the Batman spotlight of his name up on the thing. Okay, that's cool, right? Like, if you see that, you know shit's about to hit the fan kind of thing. My main criticism of this segment for this week, though, was it's a return. We said last week, oh shit, Chris Jericho, it's the return of Hook.
Better hold your asshole.
If you bet, yeah, but fucking, we're over here just, you know,
needlessly holding our assholes for no
reason. One's holding their asshole. We're just thumb war, you know, playing thumb war by ourselves, you know.
I'm over here juggling. I ain't worried about.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it was just a dud. It just walked out. Man, it was a miss. It was a miss.
I agree.
Now,
they've been missing a good chunk with Hook right now, unfortunately.
I got you guys. I got you. But anyway.
Oh, Tom's got the ideas.
I got all the ideas. Hook wins, obviously, beats the shit out of him. And then we have the learning tree, Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Theo says, I hope Chris Jericho's all right. I seen the pics of him getting his head stapled. Ugh.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So Jericho comes out and crowd chants, please retire. And he's like, whoa, I know why you want that, because you want me in all the Hall of Fames, but I'm not ready to go in the Hall of Fames. Good pivot, but also bullshit.
But it's almost you're trying a little too hard now, too, with some of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, what? Please continue. Okay.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
We got 2 more minutes, you know.
Be like, I can't retire quite yet. I know I've earned it. I'm clearly the greatest. And you want to give me my flowers. But I have so much learning that is required to give, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get Jericho, you know, again, kind of a back and forth. Hook's like, I want to kick your ass. Jericho's like, would you guys want to see it? Oh, okay. Well, how about FTW championship? If you
For
beat
the world.
Yeah, for the world championship. And he says, this Saturday on Collision, you and a few other people will have a qualifying match. So whoever wins that, motherfuckers, that's what's up. Okay.
Did he
cool.
name them?
Hook.
I forget. Was it?
No, but we get one
Yeah.
other competitor. And we'll get to that in just a second. But Hook hits him, Jericho. And this is where the strike, I believe it was the microphone to the head that Hook did. Busted up Jericho's head. He was
because
bleeding
he said
pretty
something
bad.
like, "How's this feel?" or what? I forget what he said. Right?
Yeah,
he like hit him, and yeah, it didn't make the sound that you expect, right? When the microphone pops, right? Whenever we drop it or hit it, and I think Taz and the crew were even taken aback by it, right? They were like, "Oh, well," and they were like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, but yeah, then he got all jacked up from it, man. Yeah, man, the microphone's got sharp points on them.
Hell yeah, they do.
Up in there.
So we get a little skirmish, and then Big Bill, obviously, he gets in there and he takes out Hook. But
William.
before things, well, yeah, Big William, Large William.
Yes.
But before things get too crazy, Shibata runs down to the ring and he pump kicks Big Bill in the face. And then Jericho and Bill leave. And then this is where we see Jericho's head's bleeding, and Shibata and Hook are in the ring. Now, obviously, if you've been paying attention to all the little details of this story, Shibata also has some heat with Chris Jericho, if you recall the trash can and all of the things of that nature. So we'll revisit this in just a second. We'll put a pin in it for right now because we move on. And at the top of the hour, we get an AEW World Championship Eliminator match. And let me rephrase that. An AEW Men's World Championship Eliminator match. I don't know why we always say women's, but we never say it for the men. It's kind of fucking weird. We need to stop that. I made the mistake. I'm trying to be better. We had champion Swerve Strickland taking on the Machine, Brian Cage. And pretty good. What'd you think of the match?
Look, we know Brian Cage can go, and we know Brian Cage is rarely giving you anything bad, right? And Swerve, this, we've worked this out, right? We're doing as quick a clean break as we can with this Swerve Embassy thing, right? He's making short work of the people who betrayed him. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to forget about it. We're going to forget that they were together for a while, right? Like they're just going to leave it be and be like, all right, fuck it, that's done. And, sometimes you got to do what you got to do in pro wrestling to tie up the loose ends, right? So fine. And again, I think we did get a little bit back with some of this of getting back the mean streak from Swerve. The little bitch, you think this is a game? I will. I got a shiv. I'm ready to I will cut an eyeball out.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with
me. Well, and so he wins the match. And then after the match, he grabs two chairs because it looks like he's about to do a Christian, Adam Copeland, concerto. And then Christian Cage's music hits. And he's like, "Oh, good. I really want to. I want to hit him, but then I definitely want you. Right.
Yeah.
And so he's looking, and Christian just a grin that you just want to punch his face. He's walking down with Mother Wayne. They're just making their sweet ass time as they walk down the ramp. And then Nick Wayne blindsides Swerve with a low blow. Ha! How's your father? He falls to his knees. Luchasaurus, kill switch, whatever you want to call him, jumps in the ring. He levels him. All right, boom. And then Nick Wayne had an 8x10 family photo of Swerve's family. Nick Wayne smashes the family portrait over his head, busting Swerve open. Now, this is a great callback because if you go all the way back to the Darby and Swerve feud, Swerve. Hey, I like that. There we go. Hey. Yeah. One more time. Do it for me one time. Back in time. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay. We had Swerve and AR Fox go to the Wayne compound. I don't know. Garage.
Right, yeah.
And fucking murder Nick Wayne. Obviously,
they went to Wayne's World.
And they beat the fuck out of him. So here we go. Paying for past sins. We get this now happening to Swerve. Christian smears the photo on Swerve's blood, just like Swerve did to Nick Wayne. And Christian says, "Tonight I took your blood, Swerve. In 2 weeks at Double or Nothing, I take your World Heavyweight Championship." Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
What? Oh man,
I purposely left the what in there because it's so much more funny with the what.
yeah. I
Fucking
really hope. I hope we have Nana come back at the pay-per-view. That'd be great.
But he's staying with Swerve.
Yes, he has to. Oh
Yes.
God. Yeah.
He is Swerve's
But-
Flavor Flav, for lack of a better term, right?
Yeah.
He has to be.
'Cause if
Whether
you just
heel or
had-
babyface, he turns when Swerve turns. It is what it is. Sorry, pal.
Yeah. Because what you could do there is Christian Cage walks out, right? And he's with his family. And then you have Swerve walk out with no music. He just walks out and he stands at the entrance ramp. And then you hear garments. And then here comes and Prince, and we all go nuts because we love him. Prince Nana.
Apparently, we
that would
didn't
be
get
cool.
audio in the back in time. We'll have to figure that out for next week.
Oh,
They
back
didn't get to hear it.
in
We heard
time.
it. We heard
Yeah,
it.
we heard it. Here you go.
No, we
Back
heard it. It was
in
blast.
time.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, so we go backstage one more time, and here's Renee Paquette talking to Hook and Shibata. And this was one of the cooler segments of the night.
Mhm.
So Renee asked Hook if he felt like the numbers were stacked against him. The odds couldn't mean less. Whoever I have to beat to get to Jericho, I will. And then Shibata, with the smartphone, he says, even me? And Hook
Mhm.
says, what do you mean? And Shibata says, I want another shot at Jericho too. Hook pauses, looks at him, and then says, quote, push come to shove, Hook versus Shibata to get their hands on Jericho. That's fine by me. Ooh, a little tense situation.
Mhm.
And it is diffused because Samoa Joe walks up. What? Samoa Joe?
Yeah.
And he comes in, he's like, really? What is this? Who are you? He's like, a couple weeks ago, or however long that was, I thought you were going to be like something special. And here you are falling into the traps of Chris Jericho. It's like, now you're going after Shibata because of Chris Jericho. And he goes, if you two stop playing around, you actually might be dangerous around here. And he walks off. Now, here's the fun part. Hook says, well, I'll fight you, Joe. Hey, don't be mean to me.
Come back
and
here.
Then, hey. And then you get Shibata on his smartphone translator saying, Samoa Joe is too large to wear a floral pattern. And I thought that was the best part.
Well, I love because I love Renee was like, it's a busy print. Yeah.
And
So
Shibata
good.
always having these like fashion,
Yes.
takes every time he does it.
Yes.
Because, Renee had a nice necklace or like, that's a
Yeah.
nice shirt. That's too big for a floral print. I think
Which-
that'd be funny.
Here's the thing too. I can't fathom that this worked this way, right? They were like, all right, we got to have a funny line. Let's do a line about Samoa Joe's shirt. Let's go find Joe a fucking weird shirt.
Right.
No, Joe was wearing that shirt. And whoever wrote the line, Joe had to be like, you bitch. And be like, all right, put it in. Let's fucking do it, right? Like, because it's so fucking great. The one thing I did think was, again, a miss with Hook. I'll fight you, Joe. As he's slowly sauntering away at 2 miles an hour at best, right? Like, then go fight him, right? Like, it just felt weird, right? It felt like a kid angry at an older brother. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it till just this moment. There's a lot of promo work to do with Hook.
Mhm.
But if we had Samoa Joe attempting to mentor Hook in his vision, right? And we make Hook more Samoa Joe-esque of the like, Joe's going to kill you, Hook's going to kill you, and help him develop just some of that swagger, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, we can get weird right now, right? Like, we can start throwing bodies around, right? Like, we can start going, I can break ankles and fucking twist, like, just that weird, right? Like, ready to snap at any moment, and like sometimes just, I'm going to take it because I can, and you can't stop me, right? Think a little more Kurt Angle swagger of like, you can't stop
Wrestling
this
machine,
wrestle fuck,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Get some of that, and then some of the Samoa Joe's a little twisted, right? And Samoa Joe speaks more, right? A little less of our less is more idea, but that style, right? That little like foreboding, right? Slow it down a little. You put some fucking bass in it, right? Like, think like you're being fucking held back right now from fucking charging this fucker, right? Like, a little teaching of that. If Samoa Joe was somehow, for some reason, wanting to like, you know what I mean, show Hook the way, that could work.
Well, and it could match in storyline because, AEW does a great job of acknowledging history in other companies. And Taz has even said at one time, Taz was the mentor for Samoa Joe in TNA. So there's still that connection of Taz and Samoa Joe. So I could easily see Taz kind of giving his blessing of like, yeah, hey, if you're going to follow anyone here that's active on the roster, you should go with Joe. Now, here's the part where it works for Samoa Joe, but I don't know if it would work yet for Hook, is to the wrestling fan, right? Casual fan will pick up on it, but to the wrestling fan, we buy into Samoa Joe because he has 20 years of throwing CM Punk around, throwing Bryan Danielson around, beating up Brock Lesnar and all these things, right? Hook doesn't have that yet. And you can't really build that up on Sebastian, what's his dick. And so that's where, this goes back to my thought on this goes back to when Mick Foley talked about how when for his cage match against Triple H, he said, you're not facing Mankind, you're not facing Dude Love. And he brought out the Cactus Jack character, right? And he walked out. And Mick Foley said, like, the reason it worked, though, is because Triple H fucking pissed his pants, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, God. And that's what we need for Hook. If we want to get him to that point, we can't have pat on the head from Chris Jericho. Hey, kid, you've got a future. We've got to have this flip of oh, fuck, did you see that signal? And everyone runs like ants that, just turned on the light. You know what I'm saying? That's what that signal could mean is, let's say, the Inner Circle is back again, right? Whatever the fuck. And they're talking shit and they're like, oh, and then did you see that idiot Hook lose the match last week? Doesn't even have to deal with them. See right there. And then they see the fucking sign or, the signal, and then they run and Hook just slowly walks out. And that's how you could build some of that credibility of, oh, fuck, this motherfucker is about it.
I don't know who we're talking to here in the chat. They say, Tom, what up? Bombadil. Timmy, what up, baby? This looks like Hugh Janus. All right, so we got a Hugh Janus. Hey, we've been talking. You need to hold your assholes here.
Yeah, hold it. You hold your ass.
I don't know who this is.
I like it.
Interesting. This could be interesting. This might be, I don't know. This might be our past coming back to haunt us. I'm a little perturbed, Tom, that our little... Back in time. Apparently didn't work. I hope folks can hear that. I don't understand why. It's nice. It's fun. Everybody loves it.
Everyone loves it. But you know what we also love? Timeless Toni Storm. Mm-hmm. And we have her next in a grudge match versus Harley Cameron, which I tell you what, I left this going, Harley Cameron, don't hate, right? Wasn't bad. I'd like to see maybe more. Toni Storm obviously gets the victory here. But Serena Deeb is up on the ramp. And, after the match, she's like, and all this stuff. A little of a miss for me. I need something. Yeah. Serena Deeb could have made her way. Again, let's say I have the pin, right?
Uh-huh.
During the match with Toni Storm and Harley Cameron, have Serena Deeb just walk down and just take out Mariah May, right? Take out Mariah May.
Be aggressive.
Low blow Luther, and then just be like, I'm out of here. That is where it could have helped advance the ruthlessness from Serena Deeb.
Yes. I agree, because the thing I've loved the most about Serena Deeb is that, right? Serena Deeb is the new Dean Malenko, if you will, right? He's going to fuck you up on the mat. You can't stop it. Has a mean streak, wants to hurt you, right? And even better, right? Better on the promos than the Dean Malenko was, right? Still don't know who these folks are, do you? I don't know who. Well, then apparently Tino knows them.
Let's Tino throw it in. We are throwing off. For anyone listening to the podcast later in the chat, typically we are very good with being receptive to the comments, and we're trying to be receptive now. However, we don't know what the fuck's happening.
I don't know who this
is.
But
fine.
I like it. We don't even know who our friends are at this point, apparently. And that's great. That's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have.
Welcome,
Hugh Janus. I'm a fan of Hugh Janus. You know what I mean? I mean, who aren't we all?
I mean, my mom is. International.
Oh, Tino says y'all never read Lord of the Rings. See, this does go back a little bit to what we said. No, we don't really watch like we don't watch the sci-fi, don't watch the spooky stuff, don't watch the like fantasy stuff, right? I've seen none of the Lord of the Rings or the like.
Well,
or
but
those
he
things.
says, did you ever read Lord of the Rings? He didn't say see.
Yeah.
Read.
See,
you know what I'm currently reading?
No.
Look at this. I actually have the book right here. It's called The Six Pack. It's about one man's journey to find the 6 wrestlers that were involved the night Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund for the world championship.
Nice.
It is quite good.
Nice.
I would say pick it up.
Yeah, my current thing was not fiction that I was reading, as it were, actually, or not even like a fun read like that. A coffee, like not that's a coffee table read, but yeah, I'm reading a data fucking analyst book. It's not fun at all. It's not fun at all. I know.
Why?
I know.
But why?
Because it's a good book. Professional reasons.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of make that dough.
All right, let's turn to something more fun.
All right.
Yeah, let's turn to something fun.
Let's talk fun. Not data analytics. Yes.
No. God, I just. Oh, man. I'm gonna have to hold my asshole and keep talking like that.
I am not holding my asshole with that. That's bad.
Yeah, it is the
but
worst.
I agree. This Serena Deeb thing. Yeah, you're carrying a flag with your dojo. Like I don't care. That's not. Go down
just
and
get
beat
it.
somebody's ass.
Yeah, and if you have a dojo, in my book,
or intimidate somebody at least. Go flex on a bitch. Fucking give her one of these. Give her one of those. All right.
But what I was going to say is, again, not to steal everything from Taz, but if you're going to have a dojo, just like when Taz walked out and he did the Gracie train because he had all these students that were in the Taz gym with him, do that, Serena. Like, if you have a dojo, you can't be by yourself, right? You can't just be grappling yourself. I mean, maybe.
Have one of your dojo, chumps in the white belt back there waving the flag or whatever it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like get some extras. It can, and that's the thing. You can include extras at every town you're in.
We need her to start a whole troop of Deeb Fu, right? She's going to start Deeb Fu, and she's going to have all these Deeb Fu trainees.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it needs. I'm being serious, because if you have a dojo, that would indicate that you have a student. Krav Maga. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
I like it.
What's some other ones? What else could we do here? We got, Brazilian Deeb Jitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to say the Brazilian part, but you could say just Deeb Jitsu.
Deeb Jitsu. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving.
Hugh Janus says she could do anything. It would be more than she's doing right now, which is just standing there. But yes, that's kind of what we're saying. Anyway, we can move on. Sorry, Tom. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry to keep us.
We then go backstage, and I don't think we should have done this backstage. We have Roderick Strong, and he's with, the undisputed, whatever.
You don't think we should have done this backstage? This is usually where you say we should do this.
Well, here's the reason why. Will Ospreay is fucking over.
He's the guy,
right?
Yeah, right.
He's
the Hogan must pose guy right now.
Yeah. If you want the music and the oi, 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 all that stuff,
true.
That's where you do it. Jericho doesn't have that shit anymore. He's going with different music, all this stuff, So fucking keep him backstage.
Right.
Yeah, keep him to the back. But when Will Ospreay, everyone's, losing their assholes about it. That's
why you got to hold on to them.
You got to hold on to it because you might lose it. Knock your socks off. Hold your asshole. You never know.
Yeah.
That's when you need to have them out in the ring.
Well, you will know if you don't hold your. Yeah, man. This Roddy Strong is one of these guys who keeps creeping up on the all right, guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Like I used to not like you as much, but I'm feeling you a little more. I thought. Somebody had brought this up, and I didn't think about it until I kind of rewatched it. The angles they played with here, right, where we're like looking over Ospreay's shoulder when Strong is pissed, and I kind of like how they got personal here quickly without going too in depth. I liked this, man. I'm looking forward to this match. This might be pretty good.
Yes, I definitely like the camera work as far as the experimental type of, hey, let's go behind his shoulder. Let's go behind his shoulder. I like that. That was cool. It made you feel like you're actually a part of the conversation. I also liked a lot how Will Ospreay again, acknowledged the past where he's like, every place we've been in Japan and Florida or, wherever it was, you've always been an asshole to me. And I don't fucking like that you've always been an asshole to me. And Roderick Strong's like, you know why I've always been an asshole to you? Because you're a dick.
Because you're an asshole.
You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
stupid and you're a dick.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool where we're having hey, no, they actually know each other. There is some real animosity because of these other places that they have wrestled on the same promotion. And that's where some of this hatred comes from. So I like that. And then it just ends. We're fine. Now,
Yeah.
we get another fun segment. We go in the ring because we do a contract signing. And
yes.
it is everyone's favorite, Willow Nightingale. And it is also her opponent, Mercedes Moné.
Yeah. Here we go.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. Tim, the reception Willow got was very favorable, very Bryan Danielson takes over Monday Night Raw vibes, right?
Yeah.
Remember that when they did the championship celebration in Seattle and Mark Henry had to be like, he's the best,
Petition, we're going to start calling it the Willow Pop now.
Ooh, I like
getting
that.
the Willow Pop. Mm-hmm.
The Willow Pop. Well, who did not get the Willow Pop? Though?
Willow! Sorry.
We're not going to play that every time.
I'm sorry. Oh, Hugh Janus says, subscribe. Going to watch on full screen and Blaze. Awesome. So, we'll be over there in 10, 15. Join you. I don't know where you're at.
Sure. Well,
we do know.
as I said,
I want to make you paranoid when you're getting into that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just fucking around.
Well, like I said last week, you know what my favorite weed is? Cocaine.
Cocaine. Yes. Yes.
And you who did not get the Willow Pop, don't do it, was Mercedes Moné.
Yeah. She's getting flatline here, right?
Well, here's one thing that would help. And you brought it up the first week, and I thought like, oh, okay, well, maybe we're just trying to get it over to where other people in the crowd might do it. But no one's doing it, and she's still doing it.
Whatever the fuck this
thing is so fucking bad.
Yeah, here's the thing, man. Look, I don't want to step over any lines, right? But I'm a white guy, and I bet dance better than her white guy dance moves here, right? Like something is wrong here. We've got to switch this up. Like you said, maybe she was trying to make it easy for everybody because I don't think she's like incapable of putting on some good dance moves, right? But like,
right,
this is bad. Whatever this, and I mean, I can even get behind a group, but like, whatever she's doing with this like rain thing, like, yeah, nobody's doing this, right? Like, do you see anybody out in the crowd doing this? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
And one other thing, and I don't get it. Someone
Tino said she's the babe with the pop, which of course she's referring to Willow, but
yes, but I don't.
That could be her shirt.
I don't get
pop.
Yeah, I don't get who told the women's division since 2015 that hands were going to be the fucking thing that got people over. But it fucking doesn't.
Yeah, I think
Alexa Bliss,
in female culture for
no, Alexa Bliss does I have 5 fingers, and now you got Mercedes Moné going, look, I got 2 sides of my hand. Like, what the fuck? It's so dumb.
That is like patty cake.
No shit.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Look, and so you know what? I found myself though thinking like, okay, this isn't bad because I was hating the promo from Mercedes Moné, and if we're trying to dig in her as the heel, okay, this thing of like was it you said this or you re-quoted something? It was like really living off that one match in 2015, aren't we?
Yeah, no, that was me. We are still.
Holy shit. So bad. So, like, that's the thing is she made the comment, and it really pissed me off, and I'm hoping she made the comment because she's a heel and she's supposed to make the comment. But the whole, like, while you were doing your thing and whatever fucking promotion, 2015, right? Mm-hmm. I was leading a revolution. You wouldn't be here without me. My immediately thought, again, it was quite enough. If I was in the front row, because we're ballers, of that show, I would have yelled, that was 9 fucking years ago. 9. Like, God damn it, man, 9 years ago. And like, we keep trying to hammer this. Women's revolution did not happen because Sasha Banks and these other girls were lighting it up so bad that they couldn't deny them anymore. She did not Caitlin Clark this thing, right?
Right.
WWE said, we're going to make a change. They found some suitable athletes who were interested in wrestling, and, you know what I mean, they thought they could train and teach to do this.
Who were good. Yeah, like they had to have the talent. Yeah, they were
But she was
good.
not a game changer. She was not the Jordan of the fucking, and she has lived off that shit for way too long now because it's not there. It's all sizzle, no steak at this point.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing that is a little bit even more sad is the other person in that match, Bailey, has moved on. Now, she will reference, hey, I've got credibility, right? But she has gone through like 8 different versions of her character while Sasha Banks is still fucking showing us her goddamn hands. Like, that's
and can't
why
even like, you're not even the boss anymore. Well, I'm the CEO. It's like, oh man, really inventive. Like, come on here. Now I get sometimes you want to keep the character and that's fine. But like,
no. We gotta, because it's the same person.
Yeah.
For 9 years. You're not Hogan must pose. And even Hogan went to the NWO and changed it up. Like, fucking come on. I do not know.
John Cena would have changed if they let him. He's even said it. Like, they wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me do it.
So it's just like, I don't fucking get it. This whole unearned arrogance of being the fucking trailblazer.
That was my thought watching it. I was literally watching it on my phone, even on the YouTube TV app. Guys, give me some money for plugging, you fuckers. Like I literally shouted that. I was like, it was 9 years ago. People in my house were like, what? And I'm like, nothing. Sorry. I'm over zoning out,
so
being a nerd.
On Willow's side of this promo, though, she did say like, hey, the TBS championship has a legacy because wrestling has been on this channel for 40 years. And the women who have held this have also held up the legacy of that wrestling tradition. And you kind of the Hangman CM Punk thing where it was like, I'm going to beat you to protect the locker room, you know, kind of, it almost had that kind of vibe to it.
Well, let's run everything we were supposed to run with CM Punk.
Fucking let's do that. But here we get Willow ending the promo battle.
The stare down, right?
Yeah. With the quote of you keep believing that, which is that you're the best of all time. Because the last time we wrestled, I walked away a champion and you didn't walk out at all. Woo, that's a line.
And her soft bitch ass couldn't handle it, right? And she
yeah. And then Willow Dr. Bombs Mercedes Moné through the fucking table, which here's a 1 point of credit I will give to Mercedes Sasha Banks, the character.
Took that like a champ.
She can sell really good. She ragdolls with the best of them. Like when she gets thrown around, you get a little nervous that it was real shit.
I don't mean to say Sasha Banks is terrible. Again, in ring, we'll say is one of her best facets.
Yes.
And is above average, right? And loves this business and has forever. And I want to make sure that's understood. Like, I'm not trying to hate on her and shit on her.
Right.
But this idea that she's a top 5 of all time or something has got to go. I'm not buying it ever. And wasn't buying it then, but I'm not buying it now, especially.
Right. Yep. Hey, so we do a women's segment. So you know what that means. It's time for the main event. We didn't have a women's match, so it didn't really make sense to do it, but I tried to work it in there.
But if it's getting around that 8:30 mark and there's a women's thing, you know the main event's coming up next.
Exactly. And here we go. We get the Dynamite main event. It is for the AEW Continental Championship. It is the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada versus FTR's Dax the Axe Hardwood, and Dax loses.
Did you know that guy, he does this to feed his family?
Credit to him, because I can't think of anyone else who works
who would do that
family.
To feed their family. Yes. Yeah.
Why anyone would work any occupation just to feed their family?
Another neat factoid is that he loves this business.
Doing something you love? What are you, a hippie at a love-in? You fucking weirdo?
Yeah,
Hug a tree.
why don't you do some data analytics, fucker?
Yeah.
Come on. Don't have fun at your job, you son of a
be an
bitch.
account manager, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking,
yeah.
Do renewals, huh?
Software
Keep a
implementation
contract.
specialist.
Yeah. You're doing what you love. Oh, I'm doing what I love. Hmm? We don't do what we love. You think Nick Gage does the pizza cutter to someone's head because he loves it? No, he does it
because he can't
to
rob
feed his
banks
family.
anymore. Everybody has his picture up.
Yeah. Yeah. He does it to feed his family. Okay?
His MDK family, by the way.
Oh, motherfucking day.
Oh, yeah, I did the wrong. It's right. Yeah, it's the middle of the town.
Right here. God, we need Nick Gage.
Day.
Someone needs to get Nick Gage back into AEW for a one-off.
Or just get on this show. We do have that clip.
Oh.
He said he would come on our podcast.
He does. Yeah, he did.
We haven't took anything from that, but he said he would come on.
Well, because, yeah, he's
I know.
busy.
It was
different. He's legit busy, not like Cutie Marshall. Which, sorry, Cutie, we didn't get you on again. But Dax loses. Okada wins.
Shocker.
Yes. And then we get a melee. The Elite run down. They're beating up on Dax. Here's a plot hole. So they're beating up on Dax. So then Cash comes out. But then Bryan Danielson comes out. Where the fuck is Claudio with his fucking pipe?
Oh, he was busy bringing the car around. He didn't realize.
Well, then what the fuck is Moxley doing? Just fucking pizza cutting his face? Like, you're in the Blackpool.
Maybe he's in the back arguing with Renee. He's back there like, God damn it, no, I'm supposed to ride with Claudio. He's bringing the car around right now. No, I don't want it. Sorry, we're gonna go hit the Sizzler.
Something, but yeah, if you have Bryan Daniels,
they should show that. Like, where are they? Right, like, and have them in the back, and he's back there arguing, be like, God damn it, I told him if I hit him there. Like, well, he's clearly disposed.
Yeah, it's just a plot hole because so they're getting their ass kicked, right? 4-on-3. And then guess who comes out? We already told you. Darby Allin. He comes out there
in
looking
a pink
like
furry coat.
God, Jesus. He looked like a data analyst who took some fucking meth. You know what I mean?
Looks like somebody we're going to see at the Kelsey Jam this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like someone who just got laid off from being a program engineer.
Definitely a lot of, what are the club drugs called anymore? I'm fucking old. I don't know. It used to be ecstasy, but I don't know what they take.
Oh, it's probably still.
GHB and fucking all the other things and all the
HBO, all the
things
fucking
the kids
fun
do
stuff
these days, right?
Maybe
we'll find out. I'll start asking around. Hey, you got any of those initial drugs on you kids?
Yeah.
Hell,
I want
fellow
to do the
kids.
Alphabet. Fellow youths, I want to do the alphabet drugs.
Guys, don't worry. We're hip. We're cool. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're not telling anybody.
Yeah. For shizzle, right? We're saying that still.
Tino said, so did he really get hit by a bus or was that at work?
I think it was real, but he says, to his credit, he's not being a pro wrestler here. He's not embellishing.
Right.
He says it was going maybe 10 miles an hour. So it was not.
And he was pushing somebody out of the way, so that's why like it happened. He wasn't just like looking at his phone and shit. Like he like went into like make sure somebody else didn't get hit, and oops, I got hit myself. But like he said, they were like, it wasn't a bus going down the freeway at 75 miles an hour.
Right. Which he could have easily Hulk Hogan that.
There wasn't a bomb on this bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Keanu Reeves isn't telling you to take a left. There's a good reference for the youths. Speed.
Yeah, fellow kids. Come on.
From
It's not just a title in WWE. Fucking old guy references tonight, man. I'm killing it. Fucking great, man. I can't wait to strap on my like I gotta get my knee brace on so we can stand all day at this festival. Get my orthopedic insoles into the right shoes.
You gotta strap on.
Yeah,
that is for sure. Strap
always
on
carry that.
Any festival.
Stay strapped.
Stay strapped.
Or get clapped.
So here we go.
Well, but honestly, if you stay strapped, you do the clapping. You see what I mean? See how that works? Stay strapped, then they get clapped.
So they're the bottom.
Right. Yeah. So because if you stay strapped or get clapped, but if you stay strapped, then you're clapping.
But what if you're strapped on?
Then you be clapping. Then you clap a lot of things if you strap on.
Look at that. Shooting star, the more you know.
Yeah.
Hey, so Darby Allin is now the fourth member of Team AEW. So at the Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing, it is going to be Darby Allin, Bryan Danielson, FTR versus the Super Elite of the EVPs, Jack Perry and Okada. How you feeling about this match? Eddie Kingston unfortunately can't continue, so we get Darby in there instead.
Darby fits as a ride or die AEW day one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fuck a motherfucker up for principle of this.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know that we're getting there. Maybe still. I think maybe we're getting my idea. Maybe he also, right? Maybe he made a cameo, but he can't go, and we make it so he can't go, and we just build that in a storyline, right? Like, oh, they broke his ankle again.
Well, so I think we did it here because of the pop, right? They're in Washington. He's a Washington wrestler.
Right.
Yeah.
He was probably in town.
So honestly, at this point, the person who kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, at least to me, in front of the camera, I understand behind the camera is a different story, but it's Bryan Danielson.
Oh, it's Bryan Danielson.
He doesn't feel like he fits here. You know what I'm getting at?
I tell you though, he's going to get sadistic. He's going to do some weird wrestle fuck stuff to the people in this arena.
Yeah, and he's already done an Anarchy in the Arena match, so I totally get that he will. Yeah. Now, let's not forget, he got
concussed. But he doesn't fit the AEW ride or die, like you said, especially on camera. We know behind the scenes he is, but like on camera, he's just been here to wrestle and fight with the BCC. He ain't been like, I love AEW necessarily.
Yeah, he's team BCC over team AEW.
Right.
That's where, you would get someone. Who would you get? Like, let's have fun here. Let's say Bryan Danielson, BCC, they get thrown into a different
It would be
thing.
Hangman is the easy answer, but I think we all think that's like a reveal. Well, I mean, so let's think back to those early days. Who was hanging around? Who else? It's MJF. And if he could come back, it's MJF. But
that is who I was thinking of. And you know who I was thinking of? Because I do like your idea of the past sins of both Swerve, but in this case, the EVPs coming back to bite him in the ass. You know who would be a fun one just to show up and make everyone fucking really hold their ass? Sting. You have Sting fucking show up? Oh my God.
Yeah, because they retired him.
Yeah, they fucked him up.
He won. That's right.
He won, but they fucked him up.
They fucked him up.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Beat up. Hey, when a dad sees that their son got their ass kicked by two guys, even though if they kicked those two guys' asses, they still want to do it again. You know what I mean?
True that.
Said the guy who has no kids, but you know what I'm saying?
Theo says, we're this old if we remember Maven eliminating The Undertaker during the Royal Rumble.
What a time. What a time.
Maven eliminating. Filled with hope back then, you probably were. You probably felt like you could do anything, Tom. You probably felt like you were destined for greatness.
He was filled with steroids. He even did a video about it.
No, of course, yeah.
He said, inject it with me. He goes, inject it with me, and I'm feeling good.
The green disappears. I like that. Look at all these fun tools you have. I got none of that.
Know.
See, you guys should be watching the live streams. This is why. If you're listening back on the podcast, we love you, podcast listeners. But, it's cooler if you're here. It'd be a lot cooler if you were here.
Yeah. When you guys aren't here, it makes us sad.
Look, see, Tom's sad. It's raining in his house.
But when you guys come and join the live chat, we're happy.
If you didn't catch this live stream, you still can go to our YouTube. You can watch the video back. And why wouldn't you? We've got beautiful faces, and you should look at them, right? And then, you'll see our reactions to some of these things. And I'd like to shout out all the folks who joined us in the chat, right? We had Theo P, we had Tino, and we had Hugh Janus. I hope Hugh Janus sticks around. We need more Hugh Janus in our life.
Every week.
Every week I need some Hugh Janus, like clockwork. Thursday nights, remember this, Hugh Janus. We hope to see you again. We hope we get another candor.
Hugh Janus.
And geez, was there anything else? That was the main, right? That was all what else? Was there anything else we needed to cover before we just get out of here? Because we got Kelsey Jane to prepare for.
Yeah, I think I would just end with go Royals and fuck Harrison Butker.
Yeah, fuck that guy.